Section 8.1, Common Factors. Factoring using the greatest common factor. We're going to factor, in our example 1, says to factor 7b minus 14. The greatest common factor of the coefficients 7 and 14 is 7. The greatest common factor of b and no variables with the 14 is nothing. The only thing that can be factored from 7b minus 14 is 7. We're going to rewrite the polynomial as a product. 7 times b minus 2. We divided 7 by 7 and have a b inside. And we divided 14 by 7, and that's why we have the minus 2. The factored answer is 7 times b minus 2. Distributing to check the solution. If we distribute, we should get back to the what we wanted to factor, the 7b minus 14. 7 times b is 7b. 7 times 2 is minus 14. Example 2, we're going to factor 10a cubed minus 25a squared. The greatest common factor of the coefficients 10 and 25 is 5. The greatest common factor of the terms a to the third and a squared is a squared. We're going to divide out a 5a squared from each term. So 5a squared is going to be our term in the front. Inside the parentheses, we need 5 times 2 to get to 10. A squared times a to get to a cubed. 5 times 5 gives us 25 and a squared. Distributing 10a cubed minus 25a squared. Example 3, we're going to factor 27b squared minus 18b to the fourth. Greatest common factor of the coefficients 27 and 18 is 9. The greatest common factor of the variables b squared and b to the fourth is b squared. We're going to rewrite the polynomial as a product. 9b squared out in front. Inside our parentheses, 9 times 3 will give us 27b squared times 1 gives us b squared, so we just have a 3. 9 times 2 gives us 18. B squared times b squared gives us b to the fourth. Distributing to check the solution. 27b squared minus 18b to the fourth. Example 4, we're going to factor 2a squared b plus 4ab squared. Greatest common factor of the coefficients 2 and 4 is 2. Greatest common factor of our variable parts is a squared b and ab squared. There's one a in both terms there and one b in both terms. So the greatest common factor of the variables is ab. Rewrite the polynomial as a product. Our term out in front of the parentheses is going to be 2ab times a gives us 2a squared b plus 2 times 2 is 4. We need a b to get back to where we started. Distributing 2a squared b plus 4ab squared. Example 6, we're going to factor 24a to the fourth plus 8a squared minus 4. Greatest common factor of the coefficients is 8. Greatest common factor of the variables. There is no common factor of the variables. Rewrite as multiplication. 8 will be outside of parentheses. Times 3a to the fourth plus a squared minus 5. We're going to factor negative 14, x to the 8th, y to the 9th, plus 42, x to the 5th, y to the 4th, minus 28, x, y to the 3rd. Greatest common factor of the coefficients is 14. Greatest common factor of the variables. We have an x to the 8th, an x to the 5th, and an x. So just an x. Y to the 9th, y to the 4th, and y to the 3rd is y to the 3rd. X, y to the 3rd is the greatest common factor of the variables. Rewrite as multiplication. We have 1x, we need 7 more to get to x to the 8th. We have 3 y's, and we need 6 more to get to y to the 9th. 14 times 3 is 42. We have 1x, we need 4 more. We've got 3 y's, we need 1 more, minus 2 to give us 28xy to the 3rd. What does it mean to factor? It means to divide and rewrite as multiplication. Factoring using the greatest common factor. First, examine the coefficients and determine the largest number that divides evenly into all of the coefficients. It's the greatest common factor, the coefficients. Then look at the variables and determine what variables all the terms have in common. Rewrite the polynomial as a product with the greatest common factor of the coefficients and variables written outside the parentheses. Inside the parentheses are the terms after each term has been divided by the greatest common factor. That's section 8.1, Common Factors.